What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Knackers, and today is Sunday, November 14th, and this is episode number 165. Tonight on the show, returning after a 5/6 month recess, like we're in second grade, BishopGP back on the podcast. What's up, buddy?
What up, everybody? I'm excited to be back. It's good to see you, Knackers. Really excited to be here with you on the podcast as per usual. And yeah.
Thanks,
Jimmy. It's also good to see you, man.
You're a
wow.
bitch.
Damn, get wrecked.
I was sitting here about to say something nice about you, and I just changed my mind, okay? I changed my mind.
Jimmy, MiddleAgedStream, also back on the podcast as well, which it's actually been maybe 1 or 2 months since we've done a podcast as well. I've just completely dropped off the podcast train for multiple reasons. But we're back on the train for a little while. We'll see how long it lasts. Jimmy, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. It's nice to see you, Knackers, again.
Thank you. It's so great to see you too.
And Bishop, I guess it's good to see you as well. Welcome back, I guess.
Hey, man, I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, especially with just the experience we've had together over the past few years. We've been so close and kindled that we don't even need to communicate at this
Knackers,
point.
what are you drinking tonight?
LaCroix, I see it. There's a LaCroix boy right there.
You do have the other. Yeah, I do have a LaCroix, but I also have. You know what I didn't know was that Woodford Reserve made a rye bourbon, and so that's currently what I have in my glass because it was only like $35 for a fifth, which I thought was a fantastic price. So that's what I got going on.
Very nice. Bishop, you?
I have the finest of liqueurs. This is the world-renowned Topo Chico, which means fighting horse in Spanish.
It doesn't mean fighting horse.
No, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm actually a teacher in languages.
I think that means top man.
Top man. Oh. Well, fighting horse, same thing. Another language, maybe. So this is a hard seltzer, and I was turned on to these recently because I was drinking the filth water known as White Claws, and I changed to these, and these are pretty nice. They're they're nice and spicy, little bubbles in there. It's like a water, but it's got a little Sprite, little spicy, little spicy Sprite in there.
It is kind of crazy how dog shit White Claw is now that better seltzers have hit the market. Like when White Claws first dropped, dude, everybody was nutting. Everybody and their fucking mother nutting. And then other ones started to come out. I think the Bud Light seltzers are even better than White Claws.
Probably, yeah.
And they're very
White Claws. There's only a couple White Claws that are decent. And honestly, like if I'm gonna have some seltzer, I like those Topo Chico ones too. They're pretty good. They are pretty good. So.
That's right.
What do you got?
You couldn't go against me this time, could you? You couldn't find it in your heart to be mean like you always are to me.
Not this time.
Agree.
We'll save it. We'll save it for later.
All right.
I'm drinking the last of this beer, and then I forgot that I had a margarita in the freezer from Friday. So I'll be. I was letting it thaw a little bit. As you can see, there's a nice bit of ice around it, but it's almost thawed off and be ready to drink.
Just a little freezer burn. Holy Jesus.
Yeah, it's just a little spicy.
Oh, dude, it's fine. It's totally fine. In fact, I think it's ready right now. Let me test it.
Do you have a fucking straw in there, Free Willy? Look at you.
It's a metal straw.
Saving the whales.
I really don't give a fuck about whales. I'm just going to say it. The amount of times that I've chipped my teeth on metal straws is just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I swear to you, like, I don't know anyone that bites straws the way you do.
No, you just bring it up.
You're so aggressive with straws.
Clink.
Have you ever just got to put your lips, all you got to do is just put your lips around it.
Yeah, but how slow do I need to go? Like lead it to my mouth and then start drinking. Like I want to just get the drink going, man.
It doesn't even have to be next to your teeth, you bunghole.
Okay,
There's
do it as fast as you possibly can.
Mouth.
Let me see how fast you can do it. Yeah, see what your lips are doing right now. You're like leading your lips to the straw.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, like because that's how you drink out of a straw.
No, that's not.
You don't just fucking go.
That's like a suggestive. That's like a suggestive fucking Carl's Jr. commercial.
What kind of alien are you?
You're like Britney Spears on fucking Carl's Jr. commercials, man. Or was that Jessica Simpson?
Just look. If you're not a man enough to be able to drink with a metal straw, then that's fine. Just admit it. Okay. It's fine.
Speaking of fuck whales.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what they do to penguins when they eat them? They squeeze them so fucking hard that their skin just comes off. Like their skin comes off and floats to the bottom, but all of their innards are now the innards of the whale. Dude, whales fuck you up.
Yeah, whales are gamers, man. It's weird that they're nice to us, but we look like seals, you know? When we're in our
Like what?
swimsuits. When we're in our like deep diving suits, you know, like the skin body suits. I don't know what to call them, but
Yeah.
we look like seals.
Wetsuits?
Yeah, wetsuits. Yeah. You look like a seal when you're in a wetsuit, and they don't fuck with you. They're like,
Because like deep diving suit is like that shit out of like 40,000 Leagues Under the Sea with the
the copper.
or was
helmet.
it 20,000? I think it's 20,000 Leagues.
Whatever, man. As deep as
Whatever.
you can go,
Some
man.
leagues.
Fuck it.
There's like a big
leagues, man.
squid in that movie. Y'all remember
Yeah,
that shit?
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Underwater.
Mhm. Underwater.
No,
Yeah.
that's nothing like that movie. Actually.
Extraordinary Leagues Underwater.
All right. Well, speaking of being underwater, Bishop, it has been good 5 or 6 months since we've seen you here. How are you? I see that you've taken a page out of my book with your wonderful colors. I'm amazed that you got purple to show up on camera. As you know, it's like one of the hardest colors to actually get lit. But how have things been? How are you? What's new?
I'm good, man. Yeah, like I've been practicing a lot with just getting purples right. It's kind of my job now. But yeah, I've been good. Casey and I split. That happened while we were gone, and we both moved into new places. We're still really good friends. For anybody that's wondering, there's been a little bit of some questioning there. Like people are like, "Hey, can we come hang out with you because Casey's there?" Or like, hey, "Can we see you guys at the same time?" It's like we're still really good friends. We still see each other all the time. But that happened. So I'm in a new place. She's in a new place. She's been streaming a lot. I've been working a lot. I took time off initially from the podcast for because I was working on this Forza series with UMG. And while that was going on, I actually got a job offer from Twitch. So I jumped ship, moved over to Twitch. I've been working there as a creative producer for the past 4 or 5 months. It's been a little while. And it's just been awesome, man. I've been able to work on some really sick projects, just kind of like see behind the curtains, and been able to contribute on some stuff that, you know, has incorporated some of the bigger streamers on the platform. So it's been really fun just learning and getting good at working there. And yeah, it's just been like a enlightening experience. It's just been super, super fun. But I definitely have missed a lot of like the things that I get to do, like go on podcasts and do all of that fun stuff. And then also my day to day is like all day long I'm working, like most of the day. And then after I finish working, I'm like thinking about work and like, man, what could I have done better? What could I do here? What could I do there? So it's like, it's completely overwhelmed my life at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's been good. It's been good.
Is it weird to get a check from Twitch that's a livable wage? Compared to like all the other Twitch checks that leave every fucking day.
Well, I think that some recent news would reveal that I wish I was getting that check, you know, a few of those checks, but no, it's been good. I mean, it's like any job at the end of the day. Once you're there, you realize that it's a job. You know, there's obviously a big culture behind Twitch, which is awesome. But the people there, they're just awesome. So like every bit of it has been like a positive experience, which is super, super cool. And I get paid to work and do stuff like that. I am so catered towards, like my set of skills that I've generated or created over this past 10 years of my professional life. There's nowhere else in the world that I could utilize them because that place doesn't exist. Like Twitch is like the one place that I can do all the things that I really enjoy. And I don't have to, like, there's no downside to it. It's not like I have to drop any of my interests to be able to work there. All of those things that I'm interested in exist in one place. So it's been super, super awesome. It's been really exciting. And I have an electric bicycle, so that's fun. So I have like my life's good, man. You know, I just work and I ride my bike.
So you're remote then? You're working 100% remote.
Yep. As per like I think most companies right now are still doing remote because like the Delta variant and all that stuff that's been going on. But yeah, I work on a team every day, and I think most of us are remote. Some people might go in to the office, but I don't want to speak for them. But yeah, we're all mostly a remote team. And I work on the creative side, so I work in this thing called original content, which is all of the stuff that you see on like Twitch Gaming, Twitch Rivals. That's what our team does. And then like all of the big events. I didn't have a piece in these because I wasn't there at the time, but like TwitchCon, most of like the visual stuff that you see from Twitch, like all of the graphics and events and shows and all of that is the team that I work on, which is like, I think, in my opinion, the best place to be.
Yeah, fucking
That's
course,
awesome, man.
So are you going to have a hand in the next TwitchCon?
Yeah, probably. There's a good chance.
At least if they at least do a rivals, some sort of rivals thing there.
I don't know for sure because I'm not entirely sure, but I would say if I was going to guess, my best judgment would say yes.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Which is really
I'm
cool.
super pumped for that.
So we just got back from Vegas 2 weeks ago. If you watched the Ultimate Challenge, which was the Twitch Rivals Ultimate Challenge, and it was like 32 of the bigger creators on the platform going through like an IRL or 2-day event. One day was IRL, the second day was a LAN, and that I had a pretty significant touch on or like an impact on. So I did quite a bit of work on like the graphic side of things, the streamer setups, the OBS setups, working with a bunch of other people within those teams. But it was a really, really cool event, and just being in that environment and seeing all of the people kind of come together to pull these events off. It's super sick, right? It's just like, it's good, as good as it could possibly be.
Did you see any of the Twitch Rivals stuff, Jimmy, these past couple of weeks?
A little bit of it.
Okay.
I was able to catch a little bit of it. Yeah. I mean, knowing you and I see your social media, so I knew you were involved in that too. So it was kind of cool to be like, hey, I know a guy who was a part of this, man.
Twitch employee on the podcast. Let's fucking go.
It was funny when you did the first. I knew that I was like in the running to get this job. Back when you guys did the IRL podcast, and Jimmy was actually the first person to know outside of Casey. And what was funny is when you guys were doing the IRL podcast on the couch, I asked in the chat, hey, would you ever consider having someone that works at Twitch on the podcast? And you're like, yeah, I don't know. And I was trying to bait Jimmy into saying something at that point, because it was really close to the start. But yeah, I think I work in like obviously like the content side of things, and like something to just reiterate is like every opinion that I have is my own. My opinions haven't necessarily changed. I've had a little bit more of like experience and understanding of the inner workings and stuff like that, but most of my opinions have remained largely the same, except for the fact that I now realize how many like pretty much everyone that I work with at Twitch, or if I can't say everyone, is like the coolest person that I've met in this industry. It's insane. Stuff like people from Blizzard and people from like all these different backgrounds. It's like, oh my God. Like, I feel like I have a significant impact, but at the same time, I'm like, man, like I'm working with some like A-lister God tier units. So, no, it's been sweet.
That's probably the part that I wish most people, myself included, could see, because behind whoever runs the Twitter account of Twitch, there is such a great group of people that are really trying to push things forward. Obviously, there is a massive influence of money and boardrooms and stocks and things that have to be considered. So, it's not as easy as just delivering a solution that the community thinks is the best. But yeah, it's the inner workings of Twitch that I'm sure if people were to come to the headquarters or meet people and just like interact with people that worked at Twitch, they could see that like the vibe of Twitch that started 10 years ago still exists very much with a lot of different people. Like there are so many people that still bleed purple, but it's just that because it is so corporatized, it's not a word, but because there's so much money involved now and because it's so massively, it can't ever be what it was before. But it doesn't mean that there aren't still people that are awesome, that are trying to make a difference.
Yeah, and I think that's just a byproduct of any company, not just Twitch, but like look at YouTube, look at any other platform that exists. At a certain point, like there's a very few privileged amount of people that get to see behind the scenes and get to see all the inner workings and see how like awesome a lot of the people are that are working on these great ideas and great projects. And a lot of like, a lot of the time, a lot of the coolest things don't come to fruition, or they take time to develop, things like that. But a lot of things take a lot of time. So it's really cool to like be able to see a lot of that happening. It sucks because like I can't talk about 90% of that stuff, but like I want to just be like, man, if you guys could see it, it's so cool. There's so much cool stuff going on. The people are amazing. People would be super, super excited. But yeah, it's just a byproduct of, the industry and the tech world. So can't see behind all the curtains.
Yeah,
sadly.
no. And speaking of NDA stuff, like I actually was at an event recently. I can't really show or talk about some of the videos and stuff from the event, but it was the new the Twitch tour that they did for select partners. And I think they had done a test market like overseas, and I was part of like the first group they were doing in the U.S.
Mm.
But basically, it was a 4-hour professional development session for Twitch streamers and for partner streamers. And they had breakout sessions where you could either do some icebreakers. What we ended up doing is just kind of going around, kind of giving a brief 1 minute about who we were and what our channel was about, and then just kind of made small talk. But it was in my opinion, a very successful event, and it provided a lot of resources to us that, even me who's been streaming for a long time, I learned a lot of things that I hadn't thought about or considered before, and you're hearing from some of the best, around at it. So I took a lot from it, and like you just mentioned, DJ Wheats leaving, he was on there. And he gave a really good keynote that was like 20 minutes.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
I'm going to try and do a quick reboot on Discord because it is currently shitting the bed as usual.
Okay.
I'll give me a second.
We'll do jazz hands until you get back. There it is.
Hello?
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back, man. Is it my mic or do I need to do it too?
No, it's everybody. It's everything. Yeah.
I think it's just Discord.
Okay.
There's a question I was going to ask you about Twitch. I don't want to dig too much into it, right? Because I don't want you to have to live your day job here on the evening weekends as well. But it's awesome to have you back. I'm so very proud that you were able to land a job like that, especially something that it sounds like you are very excited to be a part of. I always love seeing my friends who are able to express themselves creatively in different ways. And, it sounded like at UMG you were doing just that, right? But it did sound like a lot more work than it did creative. I don't know too much about your job, but just from the little bit that I've heard so far, it seems like you've really got an outlet here, and I'm super excited to see what you do. Because the Twitch Rivals thing, I thought was one of the coolest things that Twitch has done in a really, really long time. I love the games that they organized for everybody. I love that they gave phones so that you could watch whoever's perspective you wanted. I thought that was fucking genius. And then just the production quality of the whole thing itself. And I was impressed. I was engaged. And it made me felt like I had purple in my veins for a hot second. I'm like, what? This is what it's like to not have so much hate for a platform and just be able to enjoy what they're doing. Because I think one of the problems with Twitter is it can become such a cesspool of hate for the platform. And some of it's warranted, some of it is not. And then again, depending on who you follow, it can just be every fucking day. But there was a time, I think it was in either September or October, where they were just fucking up over and over and over and over again, and not necessarily on a galactic level, but I think just whoever was running the Twitter account and the things that they were posting just wasn't the room was not being read at that time, and it was a little bit rough. But it seems like it's gotten better. They've come out with some stuff, and they still got a little bit of work to do, but it's been really cool to see stuff as of late.
Yeah, and I think me being you guys have heard my opinions over the past however many years I've been on this podcast of different situations and environments and this and that have happened. And the thing that I think for all of us, our kind of opinion of Twitch kind of dwindled a little bit during the past 2 years or so, just throughout different events and this and that. It's like a kid or a family member that keeps screwing up. That you're like, man, I love Twitch and I love the community of Twitch, but there's just a few issues that we need to iron out. And a lot of things are nuanced and complicated and super, super complex that don't have a single dimensional solution. But really where I come from in what I want to do is I have this crazy opportunity that is extremely rare. I completely understand. I'll tell you guys a story about how this all came to be. It's really, really interesting. But now that I have this opportunity, everything that I am touching and everyone that I work with has been awesome and helping me get good at working in my spot or in my position that I'm working on. And we talk about a lot of philosophy and things that matter that I think are extremely relevant to people that are streamers and people within the community. But my objective is everything that I touch, I just want to make it awesome for the people that are in the community, because that is the main function of what Twitch is. That it's a community. There's the tech behind it and this and that. And that's just like a huge opportunity that I have. And like, that's what motivates me. Like working for Twitch is one thing, but working for the community and creating great things that people can do, or that people can enjoy and watch is massive for me. And that going back to like what you're talking about with UMG, like some of the people at UMG were awesome. Like the people that worked within the UMG umbrella that were amazing people and were super dedicated to gaming and esports. But we didn't have resources to do a lot of what we wanted to do right. So we would do wrong to the community by screwing up or not having the resources to do it right. And I think that's like the main difference now is like I have a huge team of like extremely talented, creative, awesome people behind me that were doing a ton of stuff or with me. I'm not behind me, but like in surrounding me, because I'm a very small piece in a very complex puzzle. But like having those resources and having the people, it's the greatest minds in the world, to be able to pull these things off is awesome. So like that's what my objective is, to like utilize and take complete advantage of that opportunity and just create some really badass stuff. Like I'm probably gonna screw up along the way, but the more cool stuff that I can make, the better, and the more things that I can touch and improve, the better. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I like the other thing is like I've never been in a place that when I start the job, I've never had like an entire community of people that I care about get behind me.
Yeah. See, I mean, as soon as you told me that you got this job, I was so stoked for you. And I know that pretty much, about everyone personally or even professionally would be excited for you to get a job like this.
Yep.
So that is pretty cool.
It's super cool. It's like if you started a job in a place that everyone had investment in and they knew that you could do something positive there. And that was like the outpouring and like DMs and Twitter and stuff like that. It was amazing. Even though a lot of people like have, I know what their opinions are of different events and like the platform and where it was at. But that's awesome to see, just like people, believing me in that instance. And I think, just like reciprocating that in return in the stuff that I'm able to do is like my objective now, which is really, it's like empowering. It feels great to work in a place that like every part of my life touches this, and like my life is producing content and my life is Twitch at this point. And like I gave up my entire life to be involved in on this platform. Like all my friends are Twitch people now. Like Casey, my ex of like 2.5-3 years, is a Twitch streamer. Like my best friend is a Twitch streamer. Talking about Casey, you guys come from Twitch, so the fact that I can like be involved in like in somewhat of a significant way is awesome. So it's extremely humbling and exciting. So let me tell you guys the story real quick about how this all came to be. So you guys have seen the picture of me that was circulated multiple times, and it's like the face of streaming. The meme. So I'll give you guys a quick background of that. I did an article when I first started streaming. I was using a bunch of crazy technology with Teardeck, which is like a transmitter company. And I reached out to them because I had worked with them in my professional life. And I said, hey, let's do an article. We can talk about streaming and how you guys can impact the live streaming Twitch gaming world. And they did an article with me. They took the screenshot that's like this terrible thing. I don't know if you have the link to it, but if you can post it in chat, Knackers. If you look up streamer setup, that picture shows up. And it's this picture of me like mid-sentence that was posted on this article. And this was just before streaming blew up to the scale that it is now, before COVID, probably back, I think like 2013 or 14. So that picture was posted. And then every big company that was trying to write an article, like Forbes, there's a bunch of like small magazines, streamer magazines, or not magazines, internet article websites that were trying to talk about streaming. And they were using this picture to define what a streamer was. And it was a picture of me. So one of the most comical ones was like, there was an article that said the top 10 grossing streamers. And the picture on the article was Summit 1G, me, and Shroud. And like, I just imagine the world where like Shroud and Summit 1G are looking at that, like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, who is this fucking, and my name isn't listed because no one knows who I am. And if they did find me, they'd be like, okay, this guy's got like 10 viewers. This guy's like an absolute nobody. So that took off, that happened, that turned into a meme, and I embraced the meme because I was like, oh my God, like it just shows how little a lot of people know about streaming because they're using my picture, but it's cool to be like the quintessential streamer. So that happened a few, 6-7 months go by, and I get tagged in a few Twitter DMs, and people are like, yo, check this out. And it was a link to iFunny, which is like a website that shares memes. And it was a picture of me, and it was like the different types of streamer. And I was listed as the rich kid streamer, because I had all the lights and the camera and everything. And I thought it was really funny because at the time I was so broke that I was cutting my own hair because like I had no money. Full-time streaming, like going back to your early comment, like I just wasn't doing well enough to sustain it, and I was trying to treat it like a full-time job, which it definitely wasn't. So that happened, and that picture blew up. It had like 10,000 views, 15,000 views, whatever. A few people saw it within the community, which I think is enough to warrant that it blew up. So that happened, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Don't know who made that meme. Then 6, 7, 8 months go by, maybe even a year, and I get tagged in another thing. And this is this is during pandemic. So the pandemic had just started kicking off. Everybody was stuck at home, working from home. Everyone was on Zoom calls. Everyone was like face-to-facing, and it was like a new environment for people because people could see their coworkers at home sitting in a space. And at this point, my picture was used again, but this time it was spliced into a 4x4 Zoom meeting kind of setup, similar to like the podcast. But they composited my picture, the meme picture, over top of someone else in like a default Zoom picture. And they said that the annotation was, when you find out your coworker is a streamer. And then that turned into a Reddit. So someone reposted that on Reddit, and the annotation was, a little overkill for a Zoom meeting. And it was the very first thing on Reddit for that day. So the first thing globally that anyone saw was this picture, because it was relatable to people staying at home. There wasn't a ton of content being posted throughout the pandemic. It was at the height of the pandemic. Everyone was at home, bored, using Reddit. And the memes were amazing. People were responding like, hey, this moment or this meeting's brought to us by Raid Shadow Legends, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So this whole thing,
I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Dude. It showed up multiple times in my feed because it was cross-posted in multiple threads. So
yeah. So
I'm like, I know that meme.
Yeah. So being the guy in that meme without knowing who made it, still to this day don't know who made that meme or posted it on Reddit. I should reach out to him. So that meme goes out. A bunch of people send me it on Twitter. My Twitter blows up. People are DMing me like, yo, you're on the front page of Reddit. You're on the front page of Reddit. And I'm just sitting there looking at it like, what the fuck do I do with this? Like, what can I do with this? Like, I'm just the face of streaming without being the face of streaming or anyone relevant in the space. So that picture exists. The big hype kind of dies down over a few months. I had like 50 DMs related to it. And then like over like the next couple months, I have a few people tagging me where other people are using that picture and posting it on Twitter and posting it in other places. And so it kind of dies out, and I ride the wave, and I don't really do anything with it. So I think it was like 4 to 6 months later, in pandemic. So we're probably like towards the end of the year in 2020. I get tagged by my friend Amphi, who's a bigger streamer he was a Rainbow Six streamer. I think he's a Destiny streamer now, maybe Apex. But he's a partnered guy, good buddy of mine from the past. And he tags me in this thing, and it's a post from the creative director at Twitch, and it's the picture. And he tweeted it out saying, "This is me in meetings." So immediately I respond to it, and I said, "Hey, by the way, this is me." And he follows me on Twitter. I follow him back. I send him a resume and just say, "Hey, by the way, like that's me in the picture. I'm known for like streaming quality." At the time, now everyone has like a crazy streaming setup, so it's not really relevant. But at the time, like I had like a crazy setup compared to a lot of people. And I was using technology that other people weren't using at the time. And I sent him a resume and kind of explained that and said, "Hey, by the way, this is what I do. I work in esports and I work in gaming right now. And like, and I'm also like a mastermind at After Effects and creating 3D scenes and creating all this stuff." Sent him a whole Dropbox full of this stuff. He's like, "Wow, that's super cool." Don't hear anything for like 6 to 8 months. And this is probably January of this year. Casey could probably correct me here, but I get a DM, and he's like, "Hey, it's this guy, the creative director at Twitch." He's like, "Hey, I think I have a job for you. Let's do an interview." Do the interview with him, blow it out of the park. He's my boss now, greatest guy that I've ever worked for, super passionate about Twitch. And he's like, "Yep, you're the guy for this." And that's how I got my job. So it didn't matter all of the stuff that I did in the past. The main thing that got me the foot in the door at Twitch was the fact that I'm a meme, which I think is like quintessential to the Twitch experience. If anyone is part of this community, they know that. Like that is what Twitch is. So being able to come from like that perspective is extremely cool, in my opinion. Like I feel like that's the coolest part about this job, is that I have it not because of my resume, but because of like the fact that I'm quintessential to the community, but
yes
not,
and no.
like,
You
yeah.
got your foot in the door because of the meme. If you had showed up at that interview and you didn't have the requisite skills and things that they were looking for, you would. So don't. Yes, the way you got noticed is because of the meme, but the truth is, you've got a lot of things that they were looking for.
Yeah,
anyway, so.
I've done a lot of stuff, but I haven't had like if I just sent my resume by itself, I don't think it would have would have done the immediate it wouldn't have garnered the interest that this kind of foot in the door did. But it was like the exact right time, the exact right position. I had been working obviously in gaming for the past 2 years, so it was like the right timing for it. And just everything like came together all at once, and I was just like, holy shit, like this is crazy. But yeah,
that's one of those things too, where it's not luck, but if you had not put yourself, like you at the time when you were a Twitch streamer, the things that were important to you were production quality, being on the bleeding edge of technology, and just having a beautiful face, right? And then who knew that you just following your passion at that time would turn around into a job? So it's not about luck, being in the right place at the right time, right? It was you doing your own thing in your own corner, and then something coming from it. Like that is the type of luck that I wish that most people could focus on, because most people see it as, oh, you need to be in the right place at the right time, and you need to work hard enough to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time. And like, yeah, that has something to do with it too, but if you weren't following what you thought was right or what you thought was best, then you might not be here now. And I think that's probably one of the most important parts.
Yeah, 100%. I think that it's like it's all of the pieces falling in together, and I don't know if one is more significant than the others, but it's like having all of this experience that I had. Like if this had happened a few years prior, I don't think I would have had the right experience or understanding of the gaming industry and hosting tournaments and operating tournaments and running them, or just like working in the production side of esports, because it's much different than traditional broadcast. But it's like all of these things kind of came together all at once. And the motivating, like the spark was the meme, but me being in the right position and having all this experience was the fuel to get everything to the right position. So I continue to tell the story like internally, and because people at Twitch, the people that I work with are amazing. Like I said, like coming from Blizzard, some of them are like professional esports pros from every game that you could imagine, like Smash and fighting games. And it's like, God, these people are so cool, and they have like all these accolades. And my story is like a fun little, like, hey, I was a meme. Like I was just this meme guy. So, which I think is relevant to, like, if you look at Twitch, like most of the emotes on Twitch are all people that either, like, I think Hey Guys, they had worked at Twitch for a while. I'm not entirely sure, but like Kappa, all the faces that you see are people that were like early Twitchers or early staff members, which I think is cool. So I'm kind of like, in a way, in that lane, like I got to the door from that perspective, but I have a lot to bring to the table. It's like I was a streamer. I dedicated a lot of time to this. I understand the needs and the desires of streamers and what it takes to be a streamer. I know a lot about like professional broadcasts. I've worked on thousands of live events with CBS and with a bunch of other like Red Bull TV. And like having that background and perspective, like I'm in between all of these worlds, which I think is really cool. But the thing that I dedicated my time to was like taking a real stab at becoming a streamer and like realizing what it took to do that. So yeah, that's the story. It's pretty cool. I'm in a good place. Maybe after this podcast, I'll get fired, but we'll see. You know, we'll see.
Well, if you do, then they weren't the company I thought they were.
Yeah,
they're like, you wore a pink shirt, not a purple one. No, they'd never do that.
You do. I do see a Twitch pillow back there now. You're really just, and we got somebody with a Twitch hoodie on right now. What the hell is going on?
We're selling out, man.
Hey,
awesome.
Man, you know what? Here's the thing. It's like I tell my students. There's a difference between a patriot of the United States or whatever country and being a nationalist. A nationalist means you think your country's just better than everyone, you know, period. Even with proof in your face that it's not. I mean, ultimately, that's what nationalism really is. It's a blind allegiance to one's country, essentially. Patriotism is being able to, love your country but recognize its flaws, and that it has issues. Being a patriot, I think that's fair. And I think it's the same way with Twitch. Like, I feel patriotic about Twitch. You know, it's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's become a huge thing that I love to talk it up to people that don't know anything about it. But at the same time, I recognize that Twitch has its flaws, and I've got one that I wrote down that I know Elliot knows about because we had kind of had discussed it, and it's not perfect. It's not a perfect platform, but it's comforting to know we got people behind the scenes that it's comforting to know when you say Bish that there's so many great people working behind the scenes that it's a reminder that Twitch is more than its Twitter account. You know what I mean? Or whatever the social media face is, and how many talented people there are that are doing that. So
yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy. We're proud of you. We're so fucking proud of you, and it's great to see you again.
Yeah, and I think to like button that whole thing up, I think that the one thing I've taken away so far, or not one thing, but one of the main things that I've taken away from Twitch, or like just having the experience, not from Twitch, but like having the experience working, and because this is the biggest company I've worked for so far. There's a lot of people. But the biggest thing from like a creator's perspective, or from my perspective as a streamer, is what, how do I put this? What a alleyway we've put ourselves in this community that we've created, right? Like between yourself, myself, all of like the branches, like look at Clay, Casey, BBR. We have like our own community within this world, right? Like we have our like section that we've created, right? Like we could draw the branches out stemming from, like, let's just say the center is BBR. That's how I met all of you guys, right? Mm-hmm. Like stemming out from
that's how I met you guys.
We have
BBR,
Wally treats. We have, it all branches out into the world, right? I've connected to a bunch of people through Knackers and through Jimmy. The world that we are in as streamers, we've kind of, and I don't want it to sound wrong, but like we've put ourselves in a crab pot to a certain extent, and being able to see that we've put ourselves in this community where we almost have blinders on, makes me now like if I could come away and say one positive thing and bring it back, it's like expand out into the Twitch world and into the Twitch universe and all these communities that exist that do this, where they lock their communities down, and they're kind of like these, they have their walls up where it's hard to get into them a lot of the time. Expand out into the world and there's a bunch of really awesome people, and there's a lot of really awesome perspectives. And like in our world, we have a particular experience and perspective that we've garnered through our community. And there's so many other ones that exist out there that expanding, like what I've expanded into those worlds now. And it's crazy to see what a great thing this community actually is outside of that world as well. Outside of our small community. So like break those walls down, like get out there and go and meet new streamers, meet new people, host new people, reach out and say, hey, like I want to have you on the podcast, not because I like your content, but I want you to have an opportunity to like express to our community and like meet a bunch of people that you might not have had an opportunity to before. And I think like Twitch hosting and rating used to be that back in the day. It's changed a little bit where like, like I have a list of people that I follow. Just go out and find ways to expand your horizons and meet a lot of these new communities, because there's a lot of great people and a lot of great communities that exist on Twitch. And it's a very difficult challenge. I don't know how to do it myself, but if I went back to streaming now, I would try to find a way to branch out to those communities and then cross-pollinate. Okay, now
you're going to say TikTok?
That's exactly what I was going to fucking say.
It is effective. I've come across some good streamers through TikTok, and that most of them actually are far more popular on TikTok than they are on Twitch. Like I'll see their TikTok, and it's like a huge TikTok account, and then I'll get to their Twitch, and they're streaming to like 15, 20 people.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck? You've got this amazing TikTok account with 1 million freaking follows, and it doesn't translate necessarily to live views on Twitch, but it is going to bring in an audience. You don't know where it's going to come from exactly,
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say, is that way of branching out and finding other people. Like I purposefully pigeonholed myself into certain communities, right? I wasn't going out and even now, right? Like going out and watching somebody's streams isn't my way of building connections with other people. That's literally the worst way to build a relationship with somebody else. And since joining TikTok, I have met more than two handful of people that I've gotten along with really well that have similar morals and ideologies. I've created content with them already. They're people that I can count on when I need advice. There's just amazing opportunities out there. And when I'm telling people to get on TikTok, it's not strictly because it's a great way to grow your brand outside of streaming. It's because of the people that are there.
Yeah.
And I cannot recommend it enough.
Well, the only thing I could say that I've done as of recently, thanks to Twitch Tour that they did, the event I told you guys about, I think we had 3 breakout sessions throughout the day, and you're randomized with I think there was 150 total people at the event, including the staff. So there was 100, I think there was 130-ish something streamers probably that were there, right? That were there for the stuff. So you pretty much get broken into a room where you're with different people almost every time. You might randomly get in the same room, but you're going to be with different people. And I followed most of the people that I was in those rooms with, just so I know I could, take time to go check them out later. And, a lot of the streamers did the same. And even this week, I went and checked out a type of stream I wouldn't normally, but because she was so charming, I went to my first drag stream on Twitch. It was a drag queen who was in my breakout room, and she was the last one to talk. I haven't spent a lot of time in any drag bars, or it's just not my not my thing. I have nothing against it. I just not my thing. But then after when she went last, it was this deep ass voice, and that was the first thing she said was, "Not the voice y'all were expecting, huh?" And it was a great way to break the ice, but it made me laugh, and I immediately went to go follow her, and I went by their stream a couple days ago, and it was just a wonderful, fantastic, this drag queen, big fake boobs, but the nicest person in community. What Elliot's saying is true. It's important to just find a way to break through your comfort zone, and you'll find all these other communities. I had this one guy, this massive guy who's been creating content since the 80s. He used to do cut-ups of VHS stuff, and then he eventually went to Twitch. He's older than I am. He's in his later 40s, and he rated my channel. He's a bigger streamer than I am. He rated my channel with 200 some people the other night, and it was I had just, acknowledged him and followed him and had planned on following, and checking him out later. And I guess he liked my content, was like, yeah, I thought this was a great idea. So I like that Twitch did this as a way for whoever came up with this idea is a genius, because I don't think there's enough out there there hasn't been enough out there that Twitch has been doing to find connect creators. Yep. And this was a step in the right direction for sure. And I have a feeling I've made a few friends at this event, and I'm excited.
Good shit. Hell yeah. I mean, that's I'm glad that they did something. I know it's probably not something that was supposed to be done at TwitchCon, but I'm glad that they're kind of thinking outside the box to try and to get people together.
They sent all of us that are involved a box of swag. They sent us, and then because it's an at-home remote event, they're like, hey, lunch is on us. They gave us all a $35 Uber Eats gift certificate.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, dude. So I was like, oh, man. So I took the day off because I was normally working. I took the day off work so I could attend the event. And, man, it was a good time, man. I have to say props to Twitch for as many times I've saying bad to Twitch. And I will say bad to Twitch later in the program. But this was a big win. It was a big win.
Good shit. Before we move on, I'm just going to go grab a drink really quick. I shall be back. Do your thing.
Okay.
Hey, what hoodie are
let's
you
see.
wearing right
I can talk a little bit about some shit that Knackers isn't going to care about.
I want to see your hoodie. What hoodie is this?
What hoodie?
The one you're wearing. Yeah.
Oh, this is an old one, actually. This is the St. Jude's 2017 I did. I guess they sent you a hoodie if you raise over a certain amount of money. I don't know what the threshold was.
Looks
I
nice,
was sad.
man.
They stopped sending these out. I don't know. I saw BBR in the chat. I think he probably got partner when they were still sending hoodies out, right?
Yeah.
BBR, you got one of those hoodies from Twitch, didn't you? This is the only hoodie I've got, and it wasn't even from Twitch. It was from St. Jude's. But But yeah, that's where I got this one from.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're talking about my Twitch hoodie.
Yeah, we're talking about your shirt.
And your shirt.
Yeah.
My shirt? Dude,
Yeah.
I got this from Michael's for like $7.
It's not a bad shirt. I like it, man.
If you want just plain colored shirts, go to Michael's. They sell the Gildan brand, which this is, but they also have Canvas, which is a brand that actually Twitch prints their merch on sometimes as well. So
I hate Gildan.
good ass shit.
Gildan's trash. I've thrown away every Gildan shirt I've owned. They're so bad. Unless this is like a nice thread. Most Gildan shirts are
You know what the problem
trash.
with Gildan shirts are?
Trash.
Their fucking collars stretch. Their collars stretch real easily.
Scratchy,
like
man.
I'm actually surprised you haven't, because you have a massive head, Knackers. I'm surprised you haven't stretched that collar.
Dude, I
Pop
have
that shit out.
okay, so I don't know if there's different types, but these always hold up so fucking well and they're soft.
There are different types of Gildan
Yeah,
shirts,
there are.
yes.
The ones that everyone prints
I
their
think
shit on.
I've experienced
Yeah.
are the shitty ones.
Everyone prints their logo on the shittiest Gildan shirts. Like the event shirts
Yeah.
or like any sort of like event that you go to, they hand out free shirts. They're always the trashiest
Dude,
garbage.
and then
Yeah.
the worst is if you wear one of those shitty Gildan shirts and it's got a printed logo on it. I always have sweat where that logo was because
Yeah.
it doesn't breathe like at all.
And you wash it twice and the logo falls off. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And chafed
they
nipples.
suck.
We should sue Gildan for ruining our
Yo, we
lives.
should talk about games real quick.
Yeah, go for it,
I'm
Jimmy.
going to talk about games. Okay, so I beat Dark Souls 3.
Wow. That only took 6 years. Wow. Oh, sorry.
Hey, bitch. It took a while, but I did beat it, okay?
No, that's okay.
So I beat Dark Souls 3. I haven't played the DLC, but I'm going to save that for later. I've been playing a shit ton of retro, a bunch of different stuff. Too many to list. A lot. I've played the new Animal Crossing DLC with a big, huge 2.0 update that Nintendo put out. I know neither of you are Animal Crossing people, but people who listen here are. It's good. I would not say buy the DLC, like the extra stuff, unless you're really into the design and creation part of the game, because they add like the Happy Home Designer portion of the game, which is cool, but it's definitely not like, if your main thing is doing, it's not a requirement. You still get the majority of the DLC without paying the extra. And then let's see, I played Death's Gambit, which is an incredible 2D.
yeah.
The DLC for that is awesome. Afterlife, it makes it like a brand new game. It's incredibly good. It's like a Souls-like Metroidvania. Check it out. Back for Blood, which is hard as fuck. And I think it was funny, like shortly before we went live with the podcast, I saw a Kotaku article about how the devs were saying this game is actually harder than we intended it to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Like I had to play it on easy mode because you bump it up, man, it gets way harder on the normal, and I would think it's like impossible on the hardest mode, man. But yeah. Let's see. And then Skyrim. The Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which added for a $20 upgrade, because I already had the special edition, it added fishing and then a bunch of like modded content that like from the Creators Club that you got for free. Or actually, I think you even get fishing. Well, yeah, I think that's what was the upgrade. And then better textures and whatever. But I played some of that this week, and dude, I'm already addicted again. I started a new playthrough of Skyrim. And it's just, I've got mods. I've got like this mod where it's like some of the women are like, it's like all bikinis, like metal, like chain metal bikinis and stuff. I mean, it's not
lore.
nudity.
No, it's lore.
Not
It's
nudity.
lore. It's lore enhancing.
It's
you should
lore.
you should work at Blizzard.
It's mods. It's pretty fun. And so it makes all like a lot of the NPCs like these waifu looking characters with like real skinny waists and big old freaking ass and boobs, you know? It's so funny, man. Like I've been having a blast playing it again. And I'm probably going to continue playing it this week because it's so much fun.
Weenie and I have both been talking about, like, I can't remember if I mentioned this on a podcast or during a stream recently, but I'll just be in my kitchen, right? And I'll drop a fork, and then I go to pick up the fork off the ground, almost like I'm looting. And I look at the fork and go, I should play Skyrim again sometime.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like the little subtle things in life make me want to
You
play
know,
that game
your
again.
Skyrim adventures was And I don't know, I wasn't watching your stats. I don't know what your viewership was like during that. I would imagine it was decent,
Yeah,
for
no, it
when
was
you
good.
were doing Skyrim. But I remember watching some of those streams and laughing at some of the shit that you would do, like when you'd be doing the archery and with the high zooms and the bullshit, just the dumb, and with the ragdoll physics and so much of the game. There was so many memes in your long ass playthrough that it was fun. And I just realized I've never done a playthrough of Skyrim on stream. Never.
I'm really surprised by that, actually.
I played the dog out of that game when it came out, and then I've really just kind of like started new characters, never playing all the way through again, except for when I first got the game. Even with all its updates, and I bought it again like 3 times, and I still have never made it through. So I had chat help me make a character, and I'm feeling like I might actually be able to make it through this time again because I've got all the mods. It's making it really fun,
Good shit. We both, well, we had talked about going back and playing Oblivion, but it's a fucking old game. But then I remembered mods, and I remembered that I could probably mod it to where it's not as bad of a play. And I was gonna hit up Charmed and be like, okay, what are the bare minimum
he would
mods?
send you the exact mod list you needed and whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Just
So-
what you needed.
And I need a game. It's just going away from gaming content on stream has been really, really hard because now would be the time where I'd be like, you know what? Okay, time to do a Skyrim playthrough. Like we honestly probably would have played Skyrim the same week because that day that we were both like, you know what? Yeah, we're both gonna start new Skyrims. You streamed it that fucking night. I'm like, there's no way he's doing that
Dude,
right
it came
now.
out and I was like, I was seeing everybody was posting about it on social media, and I was like, fuck, I want to play Skyrim again.
Yeah.
So I got home and downloaded the update and paid my $20. Was like, wow, here you go, Todd Howard. I almost said Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Here you go, Ron Howard.
When it comes to Bethesda games, actually calling Casey out, Casey never played a Bethesda game until we dated. And then she played Fallout. She had never played Oblivion, Skyrim, any of the Fallouts, anything like that. And what I tried to instill in her was that those games are trash. Okay, they're good. They're really good. But what makes them incredible is the community. They're made so fucking good by the mods and the people that mod the games and change the game. They're not trash. Sorry, I love them. They're my like.
I was about to
Elder
say
Scrolls.
trash is kind of harsh.
That's a little harsh. Okay, I love those are some of my favorite games of all time. Like between Fallout and the Elder Scrolls titles. But the modding community makes those games so much better. It's so incredible. Like playing through Fallout 4 again with like realistic ballistic mods where like the guns feel really, really nice and crispy is incredible. Like it feels so nice. Or like playing with like a enhanced difficulty or like more survivability. You can do anything in those games. They're an engine for creativity, kind of like Minecraft.
That reminds me, they added a survival mode to Skyrim with the DLC. So like you got to like stay warm, eat. You can't fast travel at all. Like it's all built in. Yeah. Yeah, they added a survivability mode, dude. So no fast travel, period.
When I play Skyrim next, I just want to make it, and this is kind of where my head's at now. I think I'm gonna wait until I can upgrade my GPU. The Micro Center near me has 3060s kind of at the ready, and I'm like, you know what, the 3060s. Gonna be better than the 1080 that I have. I just want to play Skyrim as beautiful as possible, and I'm even considering bringing my fucking ultra wide over to my gaming setup just to fucking play. Like, I just want to play it as pretty as possible, and because I've never experienced any of the DLCs. When I did my playthrough on stream before, my shit crapped out as soon as I got this. I couldn't start the Dawn Guard DLC. And then that just made me stop.
So you
playing
never got to do any like Dawn Guard or Dragonborn DLC.
I didn't play any of them either.
Shit.
I burnt out. I burnt out on
Dragonborn
Skyrim.
DLC is awesome.
I spent all my time crafting. There's like this crafting deal that you could do where you could make potions that made your crafting better, and then craft things that could make your potion making better. And I got obsessed with like just leveling. And then eventually I burnt out, and I was like, okay, I've got like 7 billion health. I'm over.
Yeah. Oh, good shit. All right, Jimmy, you went over your games.
Yeah,
Wait, can I bring up two games?
And one other thing. What do you say?
Go ahead. I want to talk about games real quick, but after you're done.
Oh, The only last thing I wanted to say with games is supposedly, and I've heard this from a few reliable sources that are friends of mine. The new Mario Party is good. The one that just came out for the Switch. It included like the online features that it should have had.
Just came out.
Yeah, it's like called Mario
Zone World 7.
Mario
Superstars?
Party All-Star, Superstar, something like that. Yeah. It's supposed to be good.
How did I not? So I bought the last Mario Party.
Correct. I don't have the new one.
Dog shit.
It wasn't very good. But this one is supposed to be good. I've heard from a few people now, which makes me
People are
like
friends. You called them friends before. I don't know. Are these
Well, I mean, they're
reliable
streamer
sources
friends.
bad? Well,
They're
they're
streamer
streamers.
friends.
Okay, they're not reliable.
How did I not hear about this launching at all? Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this game.
Because Nintendo is terrible with their press releases.
Dude, I was just talking to Vance. Nintendo is actually a shit company. How is it that Nintendo is the Apple of the gaming industry, but people don't hate Nintendo like people hate Apple? Like, these motherfuckers charge $79.99 for a controller. And like their online play is absolute dog shit. They DMCA everybody out of their fucking mind. And people are just like, oh, Animal Crossing, you're just a... Like, Animal Crossing is iPhones for gamers.
Dude, you know what has some DMCA shit in it that I had to like delete my broadcasts?
Huh.
Fucking Goose Game. Untitled Goose Game. Untitled Goose Game gets my broadcast flagged for audio I can't use.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tragic, man.
But I know it's a tale as old as time.
I was gonna bring up. Sorry to shit on your parade, but let's talk about even worse things. I got the new Battlefield. Right, bought it, $80
Oh, this is
to
a
play
good
it.
cue for me to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, just
Wait,
go,
you
man.
bought it already?
I bought the one that whatever the gold version was. What is it, $79.99? So then I could play it ahead of time.
It's not great.
It is so disappointing because I love Battlefield games and I've loved them. But let me just go back, like Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, whatever like the past 4 titles have been. I bought all of the games and I probably have 10 hours in them, all of them combined. This new one, everything is so good except for all of the infantry guns are fucking useless. It feels like you're shooting paintball guns. They're like, like the tanks, one shot. Every weapon, or everything except for what you're holding in your hands is god tier. The things that you hold in your hands, the guns, feel so insignificant that it feels like you're walking around in like a movie set. It feels like you're going through like a Disneyland ride in the seat with the bar on your waist, just watching. And or like Buzz Lightyear. Remember the Buzz Lightyear ride where you're shooting the water gun? Like, yeah, the water gun is insignificant, but you have it so you feel like you're part of the ride. But you know that water gun's doing no damage to those things. You're just hitting the targets, you know?
The starter DMR, I think, takes 4 or 5 shots to the chest to kill you.
Dude,
it's like
the AR, the starter AR, by the way, it shoots about on your screen. I play on 1440p. I think it's probably the same thing with 1080p. The point that you have to shoot is about an inch underneath the reticle of where like the triangle is on the red dot. You have to shoot underneath, which is like catered to controller players because they're just going to body shot. They're never going to aim for the head. But you literally have to aim low to shoot the head. It's the weirdest fucking thing ever. Beyond that, it takes 70% of your magazine to kill a single unit, and it takes like 3 or 4 seconds to reload. So you just, if you miss once, you're fucked because you have to reload. The guy turns and he just one-shots you in the head somehow.
Dude, trying to kill people with a single fire Glock. Good fucking luck.
Whoever is developing Battlefield literally needs to be taken onto a gun range with what's the guy from Keanu Reeves. No, don't. This isn't going there. I know where you think it's going. Okay, they need to be taken on a gun range and handed guns to shoot them because I feel like they don't know what a gun is. They're like, oh, these things are like. Guns do damage. Guns are powerful. Like, it doesn't take very many rounds, and I realize this is like arcadey type of game, but guns don't take half of a magazine to down a single unit. Now they have like this. They have like the regular Battlefield modes, and then they have like this new like Warzone type of mode, but it's like Escape from Tarkov with bots and AI. There's like 30 bots that spawn on the map and that like push you and attack you, and you have to fight like packs of 5 of them at a time. It takes 75% of your magazine to kill a single bot.
Yeah.
So you shoot, if you miss, you have to reload before you can get your kill. But you shoot, you dump your mag, you reload, you kill 1, you kill 2, reload, kill 3, reload, kill 4. And the thing that's dumb is that you only have like 4 magazines. So you only have it's like, this is all that they have to do. It would be a fun game if they just change the mechanics of the guns, the recoil pattern, make sure that where your reticle is like generally where you should aim, and make the guns do a little bit more damage, and it would be fantastic. But because it's not like that, you feel like as a ground troop, you're a spectator in this war that's happening with planes, tanks, and helicopters. And you're just like, whoa, that's cool. And you see other units, you're like, bah, 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 bah. You spray half of your magazine, and if you're good at aiming, maybe you'll hit 70% of your shots. The guy survives, goes behind a wall, and heals. And it's like,
it's hard. The vehicles, I mean, it is Battlefield. I've always felt like the fact that you have 3 rockets and it takes 3 rockets to kill a vehicle is the most fucking like, you're pretty much useless on the ground unless you're running with a squad who has multiple ammo crates, right? It's you're out there, you miss 1 shot and you're gonna die, because by the time you get that second rocket off, they found you. They've got thermals, and it's just a couple shots off. Same with tanks. I feel like it's a little bit easier to kill tanks in 2042 than it was in 4. If you're up against somebody who is like a level 140 and they're in a tank, you're not killing them. They know every single aspect of tank driving and shooting. You're not gonna fucking.
No,
kill
you're not
them.
gonna have a chance. Yeah.
Aside from not being able to get north of 30 FPS this past weekend and some of the graphical glitches. Did you have it where you would unload a clip into somebody and the bullets would just go through them? Like no hit markers?
Nothing. Yeah. So that, and you're probably going to list these, but you spray, you can't hit anything, even if you're shooting bullets through the guy. The second one is you spawn into a game without a loadout, and then you're in God mode watching over the map. Like you just get to watch the game. You don't get to actually play. You never get a respawn. The third one is you never, when you go down, first of all, when you go down, every single time you get shot down, you go down, unless it's like a sniper headshot. I think you might die outright or a tank blows you up, but 90% of the time you get downed, and the cooldown on each unit to be able to revive is so terrible that like you never get revived. Like it's not like Battlefield 4 where someone comes up with paddles and just zaps everyone back up. You never get revived. So you always have to wait to get respawn. The game crashes regularly, like it'll crash, and this stuff might get fixed, but the worst one is you queue up into a lobby and you sit through like 15 screens of them showing you these beautiful visuals of the game and no actual gameplay, and then the game is like, oh, the server doesn't exist, and it kicks you out.
Yeah.
So that game sucks, man. It's trash. Don't buy.
Well, I technically bought it already because I just won a key from donating to an Extra Life camp. I didn't. I was going to, but I didn't.
Pre-ordering sack of shit.
No, that's the only game. I would have pre-ordered it a day before. That's the only time I'm okay with pre-ordering. If you're going to pre-order it the day before it releases just to get pre-order bonuses, that's when you get a pass from me. I did that for Grand Theft Auto 5 when they gave you like 200,000 shark bucks or whatever the fuck their currency is. I'm gonna play it because I actually, even despite all of the bugs, I really enjoyed it, and also I need something. I need something to play that isn't Call of Duty, that isn't Rogue Company playing the same 4 fucking sweaties every fucking round. I need something else, and I love the environment that Battlefield has created. Massive battles, the vehicles. I love all of the maps so far. There isn't a map that I dislike right now, but I am enjoying it, and I really hope that it gets fixed. Battlefield 4 was rough when it started, really rough for months.
You gotta think with such a huge multiplayer game with all the shit that they've added in, it's probably gonna take a little while to iron out some of the kinks. But hopefully they do, because if so, it has potential to be a really, really good game. You know?
So I want to address one comment that Wally made about has unlocked no guns but commented on guns. So the game no game should punish you as a new player and force you to play for over 10 hours to be able to upgrade your guns to a point where they're usable, right? Like no game should punish a player for being new. Like there should be like a progress point where like you have to like develop and you get better and better guns, but you shouldn't start out with shit that's so bad. Like currently the next gun that you get with the ARs is at level 18. And it takes, I think I'm level, and I played like, I'll check my playtime. I think I have like 14 hours consistently playing. And I think I got to the point where I unlocked the AK and maybe one other gun, but it's so incredibly slow that it forces you, like, surely I'm a new player that hasn't played a ton, so my opinion's coming from that. But that's where 90% of all players, their opinion's going to come from, is the point that they play the game for 10 hours. If they're like, fuck this is so bad, like I can hardly get a kill because all that I do is dump my magazine and I can't kill anybody with that, even though I have like aim skills from other games, that's problematic. That's problematic. Like no game should punish new players for being new. Like they should have some sort of ability to play the game. Like look at Siege. Siege did the same thing where you start with recruits, but you don't have to wait a month to get a fucking operator play with. Like you can get Ash or any of the other characters and learn how to play them. But your gun isn't insignificant when you get those new characters. They can still kill people. They might not be as good as other guns, but you can still get kills with them. Like they're bad right now.
Like you can get the drop on somebody in Battlefield because the gun is so fucking insignificant. They can turn around and just erase you from the map.
Yeah, the sniper was fun. But the amount of body shots that you get that are just like hit reg body shots, it just makes it, you have to hit headshots, which I don't mind. Like I had fun actually playing with the sniper rifle just because like that exact reason. I'm getting lasered by a guy that's had like 2-second advantage on me and I can turn and headshot him. Like, and I'm just like, dude, you idiot. Like you're using the piece of garbage gun, but that's not good. It's not a good thing that I can turn and hit a guy that's been hitting me for 2 seconds and beat him just because I aim for his head and I have a gun that can kill him in one shot. You know? Right. Because that guy, if I'm that guy regularly and I'm like, man, this fucking sucks. Like I just lasered this kid. He had no idea where I was. He had time to track me, find me, and then headshotted me and killed me. Like that's never a good feeling for anyone in a shooter game. But,
yep. No, I totally agree. So I'm hopeful. And the fact that, Portal is there, I feel like there's going to be some replayability for that as well. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And I played the Portal mode and I played the classic, I can't remember what it's called, the classic Conquest. It was actually really good. The guns felt really good. I think I was using STG-44 or something like that. Felt awesome. So they have the boneworks are there, just currently in the game that is Battlefield that everyone's going to play. It just feels, it feels yucky.
The beta that they released like a month ago, that shit was alpha. An ass alpha. And of course everybody was like, "Oh, we're playing a build that was from months ago." That shit was a couple months ago. Yeah. Holy fuck, that thing was, the entire game was fucking broken. I can tell already just from the title that you can progress your guns and experience by playing against bots, which
What's funny though is there were these servers, I posted a link to the article in chat. I was laughing out loud reading this shit. There were people that were loading up, like, I guess, online games versus bots. And you were like XP farming, right? And just arming the bots with like knives.
Yeah.
But I guess people were joining games and was pulling them into these games so only they would be armed with a knife and going up against these players. They're like fully decked out.
Yeah.
And they're just getting wiped, right? And shit made me laugh. I was like, oh, what a bunch of dummies.
Yeah. A couple mishaps, but all right. Yeah. They'll get to it eventually.
They'll get to it. It'll be a good game when it comes out. Just don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's trash.
I mean, that made me laugh. If it comes to Game Pass, I'll probably play it.
It's only for EA Play Pro, which is
I don't have that shit.
Previously Origin Premier, which was $10 a month or $100 a year. All right, some quick Twitch news just to keep everybody up to date, and then we'll probably tackle one more topic. One thing that I didn't really talk to you guys about was the plan to try and keep these podcasts to like an hour and a half of trying to just short them up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Q&A is going to factor into that because, a lot of times we spend quite a bit of time on the Q&A, but try and shorten it up a little bit, not only to respect both of your times because it is a Sunday evening, but hopefully bring these down to more of a manageable and listenable amount of time as well. Yeah. So real quick, Twitch subscriptions on mobile. So this is iOS only. If you are subscribed to Twitch channels on mobile, you know that Twitch, again on iOS only, they had a token system to where you buy tokens and then those tokens buy subs. They have gotten rid of that completely now. If you update your Twitch app on iOS and you go to subscribe, it is back to just paying straight money for subscriptions. Unfortunately, the Apple tax is still there. So Twitch subs are $1 more expensive on mobile. However, they have released reoccurring subs. So you can now do reoccurring subscriptions on mobile to where you couldn't before. Again, I don't know where that lives in the Android ecosystem, if that's even possible, but that's something that's on iOS only. There was
the
a
shitty thing there, just also, I'll just say this, the one shitty thing, you can't unsubscribe from the app. Just like anything you do, Apple, you got to go to your subscriptions, and if you want to like not have it be reoccurring because it's automatically reoccurring, you have to go and cancel it from inside your Apple ID shit.
Yep. Yeah, always sub from a PC. It'll be cheaper, it'll be better for you. And you can, if you sub on the PC, you can still resub, like do your resub message while you're on mobile, right? You don't lose that functionality. But yeah, so that is new. As well as there is now a Twitch app for the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how well that is going to perform, seeing as how the Nintendo Switch is using a chip from 2015 as its base, but you
can't chat from it. You can only watch.
Oh my god! I guess it's better. It's better than nothing. We'll fucking take it.
You can watch Twitch streams on your Switch, but I mean, I guess that's great if that's your only device that you have to use. But there's so many better devices to watch Twitch on. But
there's one thing that I've learned in my profession when it comes to technology. I used to be somebody that was like, "There's no wrong way to use technology," right? You find the way that works for you and you do it. And now after I'm closing in on my 12th year of professional IT support work, and I'm very comfortable with saying you're doing it wrong. The way that you are doing it is stupid, right? Like if I walk into my aunt's house and she's using Netflix within the smart TV app, I'm like, Karen, you stupid fucking bitch. Get a Roku, get an Apple TV, plug a computer into your goddamn TV. I don't give a shit. Get this smart TV ass out of here. I am very comfortable with telling people you're doing it wrong. Just like Apple, just fucking Steve Apple told everybody, hey, your phone is dropping calls, you're holding it wrong. If you're watching Twitch streams on your Switch, you're doing it wrong. That is the last fucking place that you should be watching Twitch. So just don't do it. Don't feed into this bullshit, okay?
Well, I mean, like I said, if it's your only device, it gives you access to watch Twitch.
Then you're still doing it wrong.
But I mean, I don't know.
Just think of the audience of who's going to be the person that only has a Switch to watch streams. It's going to be
young kids.
Exactly.
It's going to be kids.
Young kids.
So they don't need chat, to be realistic.
No, they don't.
Last but not least, I saw that there was a couple people at the beginning of the podcast that said they were seeing ads as they were joining this stream, which everybody in chat is a subscriber because that's just how we roll here. If you're not
right,
subscribed,
you have to subscribe.
It's
if
only
you're not, you're a loser.
It's $5.99 on mobile, iOS only. There has been some chatter that ads have been playing for not only subscribed channels, but also Twitch Turbo. People that have Turbo are getting ads. They're saying that it's a technical glitch or that it's a
Turbo.
bug. I don't think it's a fucking bug at all. I think that they are testing to see how many ads they can get away with, even though you are subscribed to a channel, and then they're going to make changes up and coming. I 110% believe that either Twitch Turbo is going to get thrown out the fucking window, which if you didn't know, Twitch Turbo is a service that you can pay $8.99 a month to get no ads for the most part. And I'm wondering if they're going to say, oh, well, if you're a subscriber, now you just see one ad a day or one ad a stream. Something's fucking coming. And
there's been a lot of discussion about this. I can't get into specifics, but in the Twitch partner Discord, there's been a lot of streamers just saying, hey, what the F? My people that are subbed are seeing ads.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's really been able to provide an answer aside from that it's a bug.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We'll see.
I just scanned through, like, I have Twitch Turbo, and I've always told people to get Twitch Turbo. Like, just unsub to Knackers and Jimmy, and then you can afford it. But if you get Twitch Turbo, which I have, I still sub to Knackers and Jimmy, sadly. But I have yet to see an ad. The only place that I've seen ads personally is on like the Thursday Night Football. I think it's Thursday Night Football. And that's because there's like a different ad program for those.
Yeah, those are the ones that you're not exempt from.
Yeah, I haven't seen ads in a really, really, really long time on Twitch, which I'm because I spend the money to not see those ads.
For now.
But we'll see what happens.
It's all hearsay to me. I haven't experienced any of this. I've never seen an ad to a channel I'm subbed to. So I don't know what's going on. I don't think there's anything nefarious going on.
They're watching on Switch. These streamers or these viewers are watching on their Nintendo Switches.
They're testing out the new Nintendo Switch ad platform, which Nintendo is then going to DMCA Twitch for content on their platform, and then the fucking NMPA is going to come in and DMCA Nintendo Switch. It's going to be a fucking cockfight back and forth.
I like the sound of that cockfight.
That burp or the cockfight?
The cockfight part, yeah.
Did you ever swing cocks with your friends when you were growing up?
No lightsabers while peeing, though, for sure. If you didn't do that, you missed out, man.
Any poop slushies?
What was the objective of lightsabers while peeing? Like, who wins? Because it's just everyone gets sprayed with the back spray.
No, you win if whoever wins is the one who's still peeing when everyone else's lightsaber goes down.
No shit. Yeah.
Whoever has the most pee wins. Basically.
Did you ever purposefully pee on your friend, Bishop, during that time?
No, I'm not. No. I should have. You'd think that would be what I would do, but no. I think the bathroom is like the one place that I have respect for other people. So I think
the one place.
Will you go to somebody else's house and use their bidet?
If we had like conversations about it, like I'm not going to go over to their house and just be like, oh, I have to pee, go into their bathroom, or I have to poop. Go into their bathroom and I see the bidet and I'm like, oh, I'm going to use that now. Now, if we had previous conversations where I was like, oh yeah, I use wet ones every now and then, and they're like, oh my God, trust me, the bidet is the move. Then I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Do you have one? And then if we had that conversation, maybe, but I don't think I would use it if they didn't start that conversation first or have that conversation with me. I'd probably just wipe my ass in their sink, which is pretty traditional for Canadians. You just poop and then the top of the toilet and then clean your butt in the sink and make sure you use their towels to wipe.
Have you ever had the hospitable friends that are like, they want you to use their bidets so bad that you feel like they're going to give you laxatives just so you can go shit your brains out? It's like, oh, enjoy this stuffed turkey and then the bathroom afterwards. Make sure the water pressure's on high and warm. You won't regret it.
Yeah, you just think that you're like, okay, these guys are swingers for sure. Like they're trying to shoot hot water up my ass. Okay.
I've never met somebody who has wanted me to stinky dink in their fucking abode so badly than people who have bidets. Like, oh my God, you gotta get your ass blasted. Come in here. Do you want some beans?
I know exactly who you're talking about because I experienced that a couple of years ago.
But do you have a bidet?
No, we had a friend.
No, one of his friends.
Who had a bidet.
But okay, so I think it's exciting when you learn about like wet ones, right? Like Jimmy was in the military. I'm sure that they had packages of wet ones all over the place. But like once you learn about the cleanliness of a wet piece of toilet paper, you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like we are leaving breadcrumb trails and freaking poop smears. It's getting stuck in the ass hairs and all of that. And like once you realize how dirty your ass is without like some sort of like wet surface wiping there, once you realize what the capacity is of a clean asshole, then you have to tell everybody about it. Because like you can't look at your friend the same and be like, bro, you're dry wiping. Oh, like I know you've got poop in your ass. Like I know
there's still poop.
There's poop in there. Like anyone in chat right now that's dry wiping, there's poop in your ass, like in your hairs, in the little crevices of your. You can't wipe it out. It's impossible. As detailed as you could get hemorrhoids because you're wiping so fucking hard. But you're not gonna get all the poop. Okay, so you got a poopy ass and you're sitting here watching Twitch. You're sitting here watching us with that poop in your ass without even knowing it. You're stinking up the joint. No one wants to smell that shit. Get some wet ones, get a bidet, fire that shit up because it's disgusting.
You know how there's some butthole itches that can only be cured with a fart. Your toilet paper can't reach that. I'm telling you right now, I've looked, can't reach it. Gotta use
And a
wet
lot
wipes.
of butthole itches are because you have shit in your ass. And it's it literally, I swear to God, if your ass is regularly itchy, it's because you're not wiping all the poop out of your ass. Like that is a fact. Like once you get like a clean wipe, you're like, oh, okay, the itch is gone. It's because you're poisoning your skin with your own shit. It's disgusting. Get wet ones. Get wet ones. Wet wipes. You guys are disgusting, man.
A wife that's into it.
There you go.
Any final topics you guys wanted to cover before we called it a night?
Be careful how you tag yourself on Twitch.
That's right. Yeah. Do you want to touch on that real quick?
Just briefly. I made a social media post about it because it was kind of upsetting. I was doing that game show the other night on Twitch. They did like a trivia style game show that was really fun with multiple rounds and other streamers. And it was really cool. It was kind of like, if you guys remember like the old 1 versus 100, it was kind of like that sort of feel like on the old Xbox 360 days.
Battle Royale?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, because you've got a handful of streamers and only so many go to the next round. And Twitch, like the gift is like, even if your room gets knocked out, if you beat the top group, then the big prize pool gets split amongst like the 100, or you know what I mean, like 1 versus 100. So even if your thing loses. So anyway, during that stream, I had started because they had just opened up. You know, Twitch has been doing more and more tags and stuff. Well, they had just added a veteran tag recently, so I had started streaming under a veteran tag. Well, for the 2 times I streamed under that tag, I got these hate follow messages that were pretty shitty, man. Like, you know, basically it was stuff like, remember your PTSD, you know, remember the dead guy that, you know, shot himself, you know, stuff like that. Like trying to trigger, you know, veterans and stuff. And it's just like, just be careful. I stopped using the tag just because it's currently too easy to create an account for the purpose of that on Twitch right now. And I just was tired of I didn't want to be a target and have to deal with it anymore, you know, and deal with that. And you know, this, I guess the reason I bring it up is, you know, I know that depending on the tag that you're using to stream on, it could target you for that sort of stuff. So just be aware of that as you're going in and have those things in place. Like, it never showed up. I don't have follower notifications go off, and none of it showed up in my chat. And I have measures that if it was a new account or a bot account, they likely wouldn't be able to chat anyway. So the only one who noticed it really was me.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
that's the objective of it.
Yeah. But you see it, and it just throws you a little bit, you know?
Yep.
You know, you're like, you know? But yeah, so just be careful. And I'm only saying that because I just experienced it. I've experienced it in the past. Nothing with that was the veteran related one though. That was new.
Yep.
A new troll. So just, you know, just be careful out there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think that the thing that sucks is like Twitch is, as streamers, we've always asked Twitch for more ways to be discovered, and the trolls have taken that and turned it back on us and like used it as a way to specifically target people that are at risk. It's, you know, it's been happening for a while. Twitch needs to get better at that. They're actively working at getting better at that. And that's like, this is all my personal opinion. The thing that I noticed, I think personally, is that they use this technique, what Jimmy was bringing up, where they use account names, not chat messages. These people never show up in chat. What they do is they use account names, and they change the name of their accounts to things that are potentially triggering to whoever their victim is. Yep. And they create a bunch of these accounts and follow all at once, which is what happened to Jimmy. And the challenge is like it puts it on the streamer to report those names individually, right? Because like from what I understand, I don't know a lot, but from what I understand, like the best way to prevent these names from being created is report them for their names. The challenge is that chat never gets to see that, right? Like chat doesn't actually get to see the usernames in the follow list. So like in Jimmy's extent, and I think with a lot of veterans, I used to work with the police a lot, and I've worked with a lot of vets in the past. I think in Jimmy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most veterans will see this and they'll just be like, fuck these guys and ignore it for most part,
Yeah,
right?
for the most part, yes.
Yeah, and I think in my opinion, the best way that we can counteract this as a community, from my perspective, not from Twitch's, but from mine, is for the streamers. Like, if you run into an event where you get follow botted by a bunch of triggering or like inappropriate names, copy those usernames, tweet the picture out, and then respond to that tweet with the usernames, so that everyone in the community can report them. Because otherwise, it's only the streamer that gets to report them, and it's more powerful, what I'm assuming, with any sort of like reporting system that exists in the world. Don't know the specifics of Twitch's, but the more reports that you get, the better, right? That's just what we know. So in the event that this happens, grab those usernames and post them and let people report them. They're getting banned retroactively, but it doesn't solve the problem, which I understand. But I think the more that we report them and the more the community is involved in reporting those names, the more likely that they'll get preventative of getting posted. But at the same time, people are just going to find other tags that are less
Moderated.
Moderated.
No.
Yep.
And the challenging bit is it's really hard to, what I'm assuming is that it's really hard to like I was just talking to a guy that works at Riot just before I got on this podcast. We're playing Valorant together. Kind of a big deal. I'm really famous now. Huge deal. But what he was saying is, like, with usernames, it's really tough to like it's easy to pick out the racist stuff and the stuff that's like really bad names, because you can find like variables to that. But with words and like selections of words, it's hard to pull those out and figure out like what could potentially be wrong with that. So the more that we report that, the better, I'm assuming. So anytime that happens, just grab those usernames, post the picture like you did, Jimmy, and then throw the names underneath so everyone can go in and report them. The tough thing is, a lot of the time they get banned right away. But it's hard it's hard for the system to do it retroactively before the usernames are created, which is the objective, right? You want them to get banned before they get.
I brought it up because, and it was kind of a lot of people to reach out to me after that, and it pissed them off, and it pissed me off too, especially because it was like
it pissed me off, man.
around Veterans Day, you know.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I know that it's just some asshole out there that's just trying to trigger people. But what concerns me is I can handle it. I know 90% of the vets out there could probably handle it. What about the few that can't handle it?
That's having a bad day. Yep.
And having a bad day, and that's what concerns me, you know. And I don't want this to happen and hit somebody else who's streaming under a veteran tag or whatever tag it is, you know.
Yep.
That they're now being, and it turns from a bad day to, you know, possible end their life kind of day, and that's what is my biggest concern.
Yep. Yeah,
I do believe that Twitch is working on better, but I know it's got to be near impossible because of just the so many variations of names and things that are out there. You know what I mean? It's not an easy task to do.
Well, the other thing is that these selective wording morons that are doing this aren't very creative. Like, the usernames that I saw from end of September, beginning of October, are very similar to the names that were in your chat. So I think the challenge is like making sure that the system learns fast enough, and that comes down to reporting. And I think the trolls know that it's going to be one report coming from the streamer, because other people aren't going to see that unless it pops up in the stream. And they're very cryptic with the way that their names are written out. So you, as a viewer, you have to specifically write the exact name to be able to report it, and it's very, very difficult. So
yeah,
that's not official, like coming from Twitch or anything like that. I just think that that's probably the best bet, because what I've heard in the official press release that came out, or the email that went to a lot of streamers, is that the best thing is to report them so the system can learn. And I think that obviously they've figured that out, because those trolls are getting that email too, right? They have accounts on Twitch. So they know that, like, if it's only the streamer reporting, it's less likely to get flagged right away. So,
not to mention, now that you know you're not on this side of Twitch, so you wouldn't know anything about it anyway, but there was that massive leak a couple months ago we didn't even talk about tonight on Twitch that happened during the hiatus, and the source code is out there.
Yep.
I'm not a programmer. I don't know what that really means, but I feel like that's like the blueprints of Twitch, basically, right? On the programming side. Isn't that basically what source code is?
Oh yeah, yep. It's the basic framework of how the website is run, and its functionality, pretty much.
So if that type of information gets into the hands of people who are trying to, this would be for a whole nother podcast. I can't start this one late, but yeah, it's definitely something the point I brought it up because you asked last closing points. I just wanted to say, for those of you that stream out there, just be aware of the tags you stream under, and you might want to just prepare yourself for if you're streaming under a tag that is targeted, and there are several out there that are. Just be prepared mentally for that and what you're going to do, especially if you have follow notifications.
Yep.
And be ready to turn those off. So,
one of the things I want to talk about in a couple of weeks, and especially to get your opinion on, Bishop, with your marketing background, is the whole Reflect, the blue light blocking makeup fiasco that happened a couple of weeks back. Literal facepalm. I think the entire situation is incredibly fascinating, but I kind of just want to get your marketing advertising a piece on it. So we'll save that. We'll save that for a couple weeks. But hey, what a fantastic podcast! What a great time to have you both back here. I appreciate you taking a piece out of your Sunday to be here, Bishop. It's great to have you fucking back, and Jimmy, it's great to see you again here on the podcast as well.
Likewise.
Happy Veterans Day. Late Veterans Day, man.
Yeah.
I love you. God bless you. Thank you for your service,
sir.
man.
Thank you. Thank you
Appreciate
very much.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for checking in to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. Real quick, go around the room, say what you got coming up on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok. What do you got? Bishop, go.
I didn't prepare for this. Twitch Rivals, lots of cool stuff happening. Lots of events that are going on. We talked a lot on this podcast about opportunities for streamers to come together and meet new communities and cross-pollinate and find new creators. That's what we do at Twitch Rivals. It's really badass. We have a great team of people. I work with just some of the most amazing people in the industry, and I'm super blessed. So any of the shows that are on there, I had a part in. You can judge me for them, or if you see any spelling errors, it's probably me. But no, it's been a great experience. So anything you see on there, we have a lot of upcoming stuff that's really awesome. I'm very happy to finally have a big event behind us, so I can be like, hey, that's what I did. And that was what the Twitch Rivals Ultimate Challenge was. I had a big part in that. A lot of other people had really much bigger parts, but I'm happy to say that that it was a success, and we're learning from that and taking it into the next thing we do. What else am I doing? You can follow me on Twitter at Bishop Was Here, or on Twitch at BishopGP. My Twitch isn't super active. I kind of want to get back into it. We'll see. I feel like it's an obligation now. If you work for Twitch, you should have to stream. That should be minimum requirement, a couple hours a week at least. So we'll see what's going to go on there, just so I can stay connected. And this is really important. These podcasts, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay on the podcast. Who knows if those are that's a middle ground that we're working through, and I'm trying to sort out. Obviously, I want to be as open as possible, but there's stuff I can't talk about. There's stuff that I can talk about. And I want to be as candid as possible, because that's how I've always been on this podcast. I've always told you guys what my opinion is. And obviously, that can't interfere with work. So that's something that I'm working through as well. But I'm really happy to be in the spot that I am, because I can have an impact that helps the community, even if it's just a little tiny one. But yeah, that was extremely long. I'm super happy to be back and hang out with you guys. I love just reconnecting and communicating about the challenges and this and that, so I can have I don't want to be on a mountain. I want to be able to stay in the mud and work with the people that are creating content. You
want to work with the dirty, scrubby streamers, huh?
Don't hang with the gray beards. Come chill with the Khajiits down in the
forest. Yes. My name is Jimmy, aka MiddleAgedStream. You can find me on Twitch and TikTok at MiddleAgedStream. MiddleAgedStream on Twitter. I will be live this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a special stream on Saturday. I'm doing a fundraiser. I don't do a lot of fundraisers. I can count on one hand, or less than one hand, how many I've done on Twitch since I started. But it's a big, important cause, Toys for Tots. So kids in the holidays, to get them toys, the underprivileged kids. So I'll be doing that this Saturday night for a couple hours. I'm part of the Drunk Games Most Wanted podcast that they do their thing every year. And we raised a lot of money last summer for suicide prevention, over $10,000. So hopefully we can maybe hit that goal or exceed it for this one. So it started today. It's going on all week. I will post the link in chat for those of you that are interested in checking it out, because I will be on that channel. What did I do with it? Copy. Boomer. Copy, paste.
You can do it. Control C, Control V.
Yeah, there it is. So go follow that channel. I'll be on it on Saturday night around 7 Central, I think. Something like that. There's a schedule you can find on there. Anyway, that's it.
Good shit. Hi, everybody. My name is Snackers. You guys can find me on this very channel. I am only streaming Tuesdays and Sundays these days. So Tech Tuesdays on Tuesday and then podcast on Sunday. You can catch me on YouTube. I've now started trying to upload at least a YouTube video a week. I do have a new YouTube video dropping tomorrow morning, and I'm hoping to kind of do my uploads every Monday. And they're going to be a mix between Talking Head, Tech. Yes, Bishop?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish and then come back to me.
Okay.
love you.
Twek shit, tech shit, Talking Head, tutorials, guides, stuff like that. Catch me on TikTok pretty much every fucking day of my life. I'm obsessed with that app, and I love creating shit on that app. And then, of course, on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Knackers with 3 A's on all platforms. Come fuck me. Try it out. We'll see what happens. All right, what's up, Ishy?
One last point. I forgot to bring this up. I talked to Kick Tripod a couple days ago.
I heard.
Beacon has some really cool stuff coming, man. Pog Champion. Check out
Big
Beacon.
Pogs.
BEACN, right?
I've been using their products for about a month plus now, and I'm super fucking excited for them to drop.
Man. So sick. Yep.
Yep.
Streamers, the people in the industry that make stuff for streamers that are streamers are the best people, Yep. And he's one of them. If not the guy that makes like the best stuff for streamers. They've been thinking about a lot of cool stuff. So
It's been a really, really cool experience getting to work and interact with their team. And I'm super fucking pumped. Super pumped.
All right.
Everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you for so much and coming through to hang out with the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast guests, episode number 165. You all have a wonderful time. I'll see you on Tuesday. Be sure to give these two streamers, full-time streamers, a follow on Twitch. Head up their socials. I was terrible with making the bot command, but there it is in chat if you want to go hit them up on their Twitters. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 165. You all have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Bubble bless. Bye-bye. Jimmy's cut out, as per usual.
Discord audio fucking sucks.
Fuck you, Discord.
We're trying a new platform soon. All right, have a good night, everybody. Goodbye.